Hello, this is the Tradesight Forex Market Preview and Global Economic Data Roadmap for the week beginning Sunday the 16th of June going into Friday the 21st. Hope you had a good prior trading week. We're going to talk tonight as usual using our eSignal 11 charts about the state of the dollar index, some of the key pairs on a daily chart basis. We'll look at the ranges from this last week, talk about some of the things that have been going on, and then we'll look one by one at all the economic items that will be coming at us this next week so we can kind of roadmap what we need to dodge and avoid. So here's the dollar index daily chart. Obviously you see that we've had sort of a decline here, and you notice we've got 7 bars down on the seeker tool, which is interesting. That is approaching the static trend line, the red line of the last 9-bar move up. So if we could get a 13 buy signal down here right around that level, that would be interesting. But certainly the dollar's been getting weaker. I also wanted to show you the Aussie dollar, which had a couple of interesting signals this last week. Here it is with both the seeker and the Comer, and what you'll notice is that the Comer gave us the buy signal right here. This is the risk line of the Comer, which it ended up holding, and then the seeker technically only got to 12, not 13, but if you look at this big bar down, that was effectively a 13 in a 24-hour market, and got the buy signal right there. So the Aussie got signals, nothing else did, and we bounced off of that accordingly. So that's pretty interesting when that happens. Let's take a look at the euro dollar on the daily chart. Nothing much going on here. It has approached the green static trend line, but we've been stuck between 2 static trend lines here for a while and not really going anywhere. And finally, the pound dollar, which could come up last week and exactly hit this static trend line as we talked about. That's how important that level is. But then now, after getting the 9-bar setup, it's actually pushing higher, kind of breaking out of this range. So that is interesting, obviously, for weakness in the dollar, but it's important to keep an eye on that dollar index and see if we get that seeker buy signal sometime in the next week or two right down here near that static trend line. That'll be interesting. Let's flip these charts over to 60-minute bars and take a look at what the ranges were for this week. Basically, the pound dollar traded about 240 pips for the whole week, which is not good at all. A couple nights were very, very flat. I think one night we didn't even have a trade trigger before because the ranges were so narrow. So it wasn't really an extraordinary week for Forex in general. We've seen some better weeks lately, but I wouldn't say that this was one of them. And meanwhile, the euro dollar, 200 pips of range, very, very much just a slow drift to the upwards here on the euro dollar all week. Nothing spectacular to write home about. We did have a winner on Friday to close out the week, but yeah, not much there. Really, nothing to get yourself all excited about. And that may lead into we did have the quarterly futures contract roll Thursday going into Friday, and since that does apply to the futures contracts of the currency pairs, that may have played a role here. And next week we've got triple expiration, which can also have an impact on the futures contracts, which then by definition has an impact on the movement in the Forex pairs as well. So let's take a look at the data coming out this week. Westpac, starting with Sunday, Westpac consumer sentiment, right move HPI, new motor vehicle sales out of Australia, China's direct foreign investment, Europe's trade balances out of broad Europe and Italy and whatnot. We've got the Empire State Manufacturing Index out of the U.S. and housing market data Monday morning. The G8 meetings going on this week. Monetary policy meeting minutes from the Aussie's last, Bank of Australia's last move. CB leading index out of China. Revised industrial production out of Japan going into Tuesday. CPI, PPI, RPI, HPI. It's a lot of PIs out of the UK, and then Europe's got zoo economic sentiment, some inflation reports out of the UK. The US CPI data is one of our big 3 each month, so we will be half-sized going into Tuesday ahead of that big number. We also have a 2-day Fed meeting that starts Tuesday anyways with the announcement on Wednesday, so we'll be half-sized going into Wednesday as well. Japan's trade balance, New Zealand's current account Tuesday evening, some minor data out of Australia. UK's got MPC meeting minutes, zoo economic expectations out of Switzerland, German 10-year bond auction out of Europe, wholesale sales out of Canada, crude oil inventories out of the USA. Here's that rate announcement here in the US. Okay, and then we got the GDP out of New Zealand Wednesday night. China HSBC flash manufacturing PMI data, trade balance out of Switzerland, German PPI, French flash services and flash manufacturing PMI. Out of Switzerland, we get their LIBOR rate and press conference to go with it, and then the flash manufacturing data out of Germany and the broad European sectors. Retail sales out of the UK as well. This is all on Thursday when the US does their usual jobless claims data, and consumer confidence out of Europe that morning. And then existing home sales, Philly Fed, CB leading index, and natural gas data out of the US as well. Friday slows up. Remember, we've got triple expiration, so Things are probably going to slow down if we get a big move in the stock market this week. Probably going to be either Monday or late Wednesday and Thursday for options unraveling, and maybe that'll help the Forex market along as well. Current account out of Europe, public sector net borrowing out of the UK, and Canada's got their CPI and retail sales on Friday. No data in the US on Friday. So that's it. We'll be calling it as usual from the room every day and every night. Available to answer any questions. Please feel free to stop by. And if you haven't taken the trial, obviously, we offer a free 2-week trial of our services, including Forex stocks and futures. Have a great weekend.